Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Hagen Botham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, Andrew Bartolotta.
Welcome to the cityCURRENT Show, where we bring you uplifting stories of individuals and organizations making a positive impact in our community and around the globe. I'm your host, Andrew Bartolotta, and today we're delighted to have Abbi Nichols, the founder of Abbikadabbi's baking company. Abbi's journey from baking cookies in her family's kitchen to opening her own storefront in South Haven, Mississippi's top of the SIP development is a testament to passion, perseverance, and entrepreneurial spirit. In this interview, Abbi will share about her sweet story of being a young professional, perfecting the perfect baked goods, and why everyone needs a disco ball or two in their space. Abbi, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Of course. Okay, let's kick it off with sharing to our audience how your early experiences with baking alongside your mom and your grandma really influenced your passion for baking.
Yeah, I've always loved being in the kitchen with my parents and my grandparents from a young age, probably starting around 6, probably just helping them, make a box mix cake or box mix of brownies. Then they let me lick the spoon after we're done, That's just something that I always remembered. And then I really started making cakes on my own around 12. I sold cakes on my mom's Facebook page for Valentine's Day, and I sold about 20 cakes on her Facebook page. Wasn't expecting it to be like that crazy, but it was. Like, I was not an experienced baker like I am now. So it was a little hectic. It was a lot hectic, yeah. But I just didn't think I would get that kind of response. And then all throughout high school, when I got there, I would just make stuff, bring to my teachers, and they're like, why don't you sell this? And so I started Abbikadabbi's my senior year of high school. And that's when I started selling to people. So it all started there.
So were you always entrepreneurial, or what made you take the step of like, hey, I should really turn this into a business? Was it your peers and your family and friends saying, we believe in you? Is that sort of what guided you, or what guided
I
you
think
to do that?
so. Honestly, I've always told people this, like, I've never seen myself having a desk job. I just can't, sit still that long for a 9 to 5, which now I work longer than 9 to 5. But anyway, I just never saw myself having that. And then I had the talent, so I just went with it. It was a big risk. It really was. And doing it all throughout college, yeah, I kind of missed out on a few things, but I love what I do. So I didn't look at it as I was missing out on something, or your college experience or whatever. Um, but it's something that I love to do, and I love making customers happy and seeing the kids so happy to come into the store now, and just seeing their faces light up when I make what they wanted. So
It's so fun whenever we're throwing a party, whether it's a baby shower, one of my kids' birthday parties, and we send the invitation, our inspiration, and then when we go to pick it up, we're like, how does she do this? It's so
Mhm.
cool to see that come to life. And as a creative, I can definitely attest to the no on the desk job, doing
Yeah.
monotonous work time to time. Some people excel at that, but for
Mhm.
creatives to be able to stretch your brain and be able to solve problems and build things for people is so important. And your mission was to create sugar cookies that not only looked good, but tasted great as well. How'd you go about perfecting your recipe without spilling any of the recipe secrets?
Yeah, it was just like, it was one Easter. I think it's either my sophomore year of high school or my junior year. I can't remember. But I'd already been making cakes, and I just looked at my mom and I was like, those cookies that like everybody makes, like, they just taste so bad. Like, I'm gonna come up with a recipe that tastes good and looks good. Now, the
Mhm.
first ones I did, they didn't look very good. But I got better over time in perfecting that recipe, and you get that soft bite. You get that soft bite of icing. It's not too sweet, it's just a little bit. It's just perfect. And so that's what everyone loves about Abbikadabbi's.
Yes, I can agree with that because for the most part, excluding Abbikadabbi's, of course, you can have this beautiful cookie and then you bite into it and you're like, oh no,
Yeah.
it looks great, but it doesn't taste great. And with Abbikadabbi's, it's not only like you said that soft, buttery taste, and you've got the icing that's the decoration is beautiful, but it's still just a great cookie.
Yeah.
And it's soft when you bite into it. So, you shared a little bit about it, but talk a little bit about how you came up with the name Abbikadabbies and what that signifies for you.
So my name's Abby, and so when I was younger, my friends called me Abbikadabbi, and so it's just stuck with me ever since. And when we were coming up with a business name while I was in high school, my mom threw out Abbikadabbies, and I was like, "Ugh, no, I just don't like that. I don't like that at all. Like it's too childish. Like people aren't gonna like that." And then I gave it a couple of days, and I was like, you know what? I think that's what we need to call it. And I hated to admit that she was right. I really did. But she was. And so I went to her and I was like, I hate to say it, but you're right. We have to do Abby Cadabbies. And so it's just stuck with us ever since, and people love it.
Mhm. I love it. It's unique
Mhm.
and it has a fun flair to it as well. And you don't take yourself or the business too seriously. You
Right.
have room to be creative and fun. Let's before we talk about your career and college experience in Ole Miss that was award winning that brought you to opening up your space. Talk a little bit about your space in the top of the SIP development in Snowden Grove, South Haven, Mississippi area. It is, you took me on a tour. I came in a few months ago, I guess by now,
Mhm.
and your mom is so sweet, which we have to talk about your mom too, because
Yeah.
she's such a great cheerleader. But you had to show me around the space, and it's massive.
Yes.
And so give listeners, viewers an idea for your interior space and then where you're geographically located.
Mhm. So originally, we didn't know if we were going to be where we are now. We looked in Olive Branch. While I was in college, I did a lot of business competitions. And so my senior year, I was getting ready for that last competition. And I was like, I really have to have some kind of something that I'm going to show them where I'm going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was looking in Olive Branch. I was looking all over South Haven. I really wanted to be in Olive Branch just because that's where I live and that's where most of my clientele was. I mean, yeah, lots in DeSoto County, but most of them were in Olive Branch. And so I really wanted to find something there, and I just couldn't find anything. We looked at a few places, and they're like, "This is all for big corporations. You need to go across the street by Dollar Tree." And I'm like, "But the clientele that I have is not going to Dollar Tree."
Mm-hmm.
So we just looked around, looked around. Well, we knew the owners of SMJ, mostly, and he was like, he knew we were looking, and he said, if you just hold on a minute, I have something for you, I think. And so we waited. And so when I did the competition, I just said, I'm pretty sure this is where I'm going to be, but I'm not positive, but we're definitely getting a storefront. And so finally, we met with them. Well, straight up, he was like, just go meet with the architect. And I'm like, oh, so we're really doing this? I was like, okay. And so we go and meet with the architect, and we decided on just one bay. And that was 1,300 square feet. And then my mom looked at me and she was like, that's not enough room. That's not enough room. And so we went home. My eyes got real big. I was like, that's double the rent. I just don't know if we can do that starting off. And so we went home and we thought about it, and I was like, you're right, once again, I'm like, we're gonna have to go with two bays. So now we have 2,600 square feet. And when they drew it out, like it was just insane. Like seeing our kitchen and our decorating area and all that just come together. And it was real at that point. And we just kept meeting with them, figuring out our designs. I was probably 15, 14. I drew on a piece of paper, and it wasn't even just like a piece of notebook paper. It was like some company's notepad. I think it was like GNC Supply or something my dad brought home from work. And I just drew on a piece of paper like these two arches and like this neon sign and like a little stick figure of me in the middle. This is what I want Abbikadabbis to look like. And that's what I brought to life with these architects. I was like, this looks like a kid drew it because a kid did draw it, but this is what I want it to look like. And they did such a good job bringing my vision to life.
I
So,
love that. I love the story of just like dreaming big and knowing to take the risk. It is risky, but
yeah.
for you and your family to say we believe in it and we know that it's going to work, and then
Mhm.
to have those connections and relationships to say, I'm a builder and I've got the perfect space for you. Talk
Mhm.
about the top of the SIP development, still really under construction as
Mhm.
they're building out their space, but it's a really unique space directly across from the bustling Snowden Grove amphitheater, Bank Plus Amphitheater, and Snowden Grove baseball field, strike zone. You've got, I mean, it is the entertainment district,
Yes.
dubbed that as well. And
Yeah.
so across from Silo Square too. So talk about some of your neighbors and who you're looking forward to opening in your area to then bring even more customers to your bay.
Mhm. So right next to us, Walk-On's restaurant just opened. So we've gotten a lot of traffic from them. So they have like Cajun food. It's just a little bit, it's like a sports bar. They have 87 TVs.
Oh my gosh.
It's a little insane, but it's your go-to place when you want to watch sports. So football games, baseball games, anything. And then on the other side of us is Bangers Pickleball, and it's supposed to open the end of this year. And so it'll have indoor, outdoor courts. And then I believe they're going to add another little strip mall over there too. And
That's
then further down towards the amphitheater is 30,000 square feet of restaurant and retail space. And I do know that the top part is going to be like a monster putt-putt golf, like cosmic. So that'll be really fun. Something new to the area.
Yes, and I love that it's really just this like family distriplex where you can park your car or walk across the street from Silo Square and enjoy the entire neighborhood atmosphere. And you did mention that you've got these like fun arches, and I mentioned at the onset about your disco ball or two.
Mhm.
You've got a really unique space because you have two bays for sort of like a party room. So talk
Mhm.
about some of the events that you've held in the past and what you would say this room or this space would be great for to have at Abbikadabbi's.
Yeah, so back at Christmas, we did on the 23rd, you could come in and you decorated cookies for Santa. So parents didn't have to worry about buying a whole kit. We had everything for them. We had sprinkles, we had icing. It was just a little free for all. Now, I will say it was a little insane. It was a little crazy. We found icing on the windows and everything after the kids left, but it's okay. They had fun. But it helped the parents out and it was just something fun for the kids to do. They got to decorate one for themselves and they got to decorate one to leave out for Santa. So that was really fun. We did a Galentine cookie class, so you could come in, learn how to decorate cookies. And we just started doing birthday parties where you can come in and you can either learn to decorate cookies or you could just do like a free for all decorate class. So,
Very cool. Okay,
mhm.
so we're gonna go back to college a little bit. You mentioned that you had a lot of competitions and such. Having the entrepreneurial spirit and being a young professional, I think it's really cool how you are leaps and bounds ahead of maybe some of your peers at Ole Miss because when you were a senior, you're looking for a brick and mortar space. So I mean, it's really cool to see that takes drive and passion, perseverance. Talk about maybe some of the competitions for those younger that are listening, or maybe the moms and dads listening saying my kids are getting into high school or going into college, and I know that they have a drive to be entrepreneurial, but I don't know what's out there. Talk about what it was like to be at Ole Miss and some of the competitions there.
Yeah, so at Ole Miss, they have a really good program within the business school, and it's called Ole Miss CIE. So it's the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And so even if you just either you have a business or you have an idea that I want to be my own boss one day, you can go in there and join their workshops and meet their mentors, and they can help you figure out, what are you going to do? What are your hobbies? What are you going to do? Um, so they have a business competition in the fall, and then they have one in the spring. So I did them I did 4 times. So I did 2 in the fall, 2 in the spring. I always did better at the one in the spring just because it was more like a family business kind of thing. Um, so the 2 that I did, I got in the top 6 out of like 30 plus teams because there's like 5 rooms and only 1 team from each room goes to the top 6. So it's very competitive and you have to have everything right. You've got like 5 minutes of your presentation and then 5 minutes of Q&A. Now, I've just started becoming a judge for this competition, and looking back, like they ask a lot of like tough questions. Like there was one, for instance, and it really just pushed me to keep going. But one guy asked me one time, so if no one else is going to ask this, I'm just going to. Is this a hobby or a career? And honestly, it broke me. Like it made me really upset.
Yeah.
But I think it pushed me to where I am now. Like, yes, it's something that I love to do, but I always say, love what you do what you love. And so it just pushed me even further.
It's such a great way to, like I said earlier, just grow leaps and bounds past your peers, to take the time to really realize the sphere of influence around you and tap into it, which led you to being named the 2024 SBA Mississippi Young Entrepreneur of the Year, which is a remarkable achievement. Touch a little bit on what that recognition meant for you.
So it was a guy at Almost DeSoto that nominated me. He called me mm, December 2023. And he was like, "Hey, I have a favor to ask. It's very last minute, but I want to nominate you for this award." And I'm like, "Okay." Like it was just a big shock, you know. I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "But I need the paperwork back in 2 days." And I was like, "Okay, okay, I can do that. I don't know when I'm gonna do that, but I'll figure it out." And so my mom helped me do all the paperwork. And so I turned it into him. Well, then it was like a month later. You weren't supposed to find out until March, but he emailed me and was like, "You missed a question on your paperwork." And I was like, "Oh no." And he's like, "But I think this is really good because if they didn't like your application, they would have just thrown it out." And so he was like, "I need you to answer this really quick and turn it back in." So we did. And we found out in March that I'd won the award. And I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is like insane." Like, not many people from North Mississippi win a statewide award, honestly. And
Mhm.
it's mostly people further down south, around the Jackson area that get the recognition. And so I was able to bring this award back to DeSoto County, and it was just an amazing honor. I mean, meeting everyone from SBDC and SBA, like it was just amazing.
To get recognition after being in the trenches so much and trying to open this brick and mortar and open a space that you love and feel comfortable with, and expanding, that's a lot of stress. And so to then be recognized by the state and by the Small Business Association to say, hey, you're doing a great job as a entrepreneur, is just fuel to the fire. So
Mhm.
talk about let's talk about your parents for a minute, because I love, there's a look that your mom gives you when you're around you. You can tell that she is just so proud of you.
Mhm.
And for anyone that has parents that are proud of them, it is such a great feeling. Talk about what it means to have someone like your parents that are there to help guide you through some of the tough moments as well.
Yeah. I honestly I couldn't do it without them. I mean, let my mom for one just letting me start this business in her house from her dining room table. I just had to buy her a new dining room table because I ruined 2 of them. And so she finally got a new dining room table. But there's not many parents that would do what they do for me. Like for instance, the business competitions, they would come with me. And I'd be like, "You have to wait in the car until I get in the top 6, then you can come in, you know?" And I'm like, "No other parents are there, so you have to wait in the car." And so, but everyone at Ole Miss loved that my parents were so supportive as they are. Like I said, there was no other parents there. Maybe the kids, other presenters, didn't think their parents were supposed to come, but my parents just wanted to be there to see me succeed, and they want to be there for me. And now my mom works with me full time, and I couldn't do it without her. And it's amazing at how they are so supportive, and just like I said, I couldn't be where I am without them. So
Great answer.
mhm.
Okay. So tease us with, obviously we know cakes and cookies. Tease us with, if we're coming to the SIP to come in and enjoy Abbikadabbis, what are some of your top 5 items that we have to enjoy?
Let's see. So we do specials during the week. So like on Wednesdays we have cookie cakes. On Thursdays we do like chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin. We just introduced a double dabby, so it's like an not ice cream, but like
A
a cookie
frost.
sandwich. Yeah,
Yeah. That's
frosting in the
okay.
middle.
Yeah.
And we also did a little dabby, so it's oatmeal with buttercream in the middle. So people really like those. And then on Fridays and Saturdays, we do cupcakes. So we change the flavors up every week. And so people really like that variety. But our top sellers are definitely the petty cakes, which are like, we call them petty cakes, but they're like petitfours, little cake square with glaze over them. Those are definitely our top seller. We can't keep them in the fridge long enough. Um, and then everyone just loves our decorated sugar cookies. I mean, because that's our main thing. So,
Yeah, they're so good, and it's so fun to see just as the season changes, what sort of designs you have, or
mhm,
for, like I said earlier, when you have a birthday party or a baby shower, whatever that theme is, the way that you and your team are able to customize it is just so fun to see that come into from idea to design. So
mhm.
as we wrap up, how do you envision your role in our community evolving as your business continues to grow?
I've always said that I want to be the cookie business of the Southeast. So I know we're just starting in South Haven, but I really want to expand further down the road into other areas in the Southeast, like Oxford, other college towns, that are very family oriented. I think we have a great fit in those areas, but I definitely am so thankful that we're in South Haven and we're in such a great district, and it's amazing.
Great answer. Okay, wrap up with where we can go to see Abbikadabbis in person, online, support your efforts, and order amazing cookies, cakes, and more.
Yeah. So we're on Facebook and Instagram, and we're trying to do some TikToks. But I need to get somebody else to do the TikToks. But we have a website that you can go on and you can order. You can also find us in Coffee Central on some holidays. So
Awesome. Well, Abby, it's so funny. I just want to call you Abbikadabbi all the time. So, I mean, I guess that works. Abby, thank you for sharing your inspiring journey with us. Your dedication to your craft and community serves as a beacon for aspiring entrepreneurs. For our listeners eager to taste your delightful creations, be sure to visit Abbikadabbi's at 6727 Snowden Lane in South Haven, or check out their website at abbikadabbisbakingco.com. We wish you continued success and thank you for powering the good in our community and beyond.
thank you so much.